Hi and welcome, my name is the Nordic Dane and today we're going to talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor for PlayStation 5. So it's actually been a long time since I've done a review here on YouTube. I don't think I've actually done one in this new place that I've been living, and I've been living here for like a year. So a lot of things have changed since I last did reviews and since I played the first game. The first game, Star Wars Fallen Order, was absolutely fantastic, so I was really looking forward to this game as well. And I of course had to pre-order it. The game is made by Respawn Entertainment and is published by EA, the same two companies who did the first game, which is really visible in the way that they have grabbed everything that was good from the first game and put it over in the second game. The story takes place some time after the first game ended. This time the group has split up sadly, and Cal is now a part of this new gang. Without going too much into detail on what really happens really early in the game, all I can say is that it starts out in Coruscant, which is a really interesting place for a Jedi to be after Order 66. Luckily we do get to see the old characters as Cal goes back and find his old friends. Not reuniting them, but do interact with them a lot. Like the new headquarters basically becomes Greece's cantina that he got money for somehow. I don't really know how, but he got money to build a cantina somewhere because that was his dream. Marin and Seer went off to somewhere else, not going to spoil much, but basically they want to continue finding force sensitive kids and trying to help them on their way of basically just surviving. The main plot revolves around the fact that Cal finds a possible place for a lot of these force sensitive kids to hide out from the Empire. But getting to this place is super tricky, there's a lot of steps involved, and he is not the only one looking for this place. There are some other people, both with lightsabers and without lightsabers, who are basically in Cal's way, but he also finds out that the Jedi Order isn't always what he thought it was. Or at least it was, but not everyone was agreeing with it. I've not yet finished the game. I'm very interested to see where this is going. I don't have a clue. I hope that it's going to be a good ending because so far the story hasn't been really that captivating for me. It's not the best part of the game, at least. Luckily, there's a ton of other stuff about the game that is super captivating, so that's the reason why I still keep playing it and probably will do 100% on it. When it comes to the visuals on this game, I tried skipping between doing the visual mode and the performance mode and going back and forth, and honestly, I couldn't see that much of a difference besides the frame rate. Visually, those two look pretty close to each other, and there isn't that much difference. So if you're looking for a recommendation, I would definitely go for the performance mode and trying to get those 60 frames per second, because it does a huge difference when it comes to the actual fighting. Though it's not actually locked 60 frames per second, it does vary between 45 and 60. Personally, I have never noticed this, except for a few times right after I've been loading the whole game and I start up the game. There is a drop in frame rates that possibly even go down to like 20. But give it like 3 seconds and then it's back to 60. If you choose to go with a 30 frames per second instead, you do get 4K. I do have a 4K HDR TV, however, I don't even see that difference on there. I have also heard some people say that if you do choose the performance mode with the 60 frames per second, that sometimes the quality goes down to 720p, but I have not noticed that whatsoever. I have, however, noticed a few glitches here and there wherever I die weirdly, or if I would fall down a certain place where I don't feel like I would have fallen down in real life. Not that Star Wars is a real life thing, but you know what I mean. But those things don't really bother me, they happen in almost every game that you play. There has been a few times where I could not do anything and it just kept on loading and loading and loading, so I had to literally just restart the game and everything was fine. When it comes to the sound in this game, it is absolutely fantastic. It's really great. It makes you feel at home, I almost want to say, as a person who grew up with Star Wars and is still a very big fan of Star Wars. There is, however, one thing that I really I'm honest, I have to dislike it. I don't like it at all. In the game, there are these shops that you can buy from, and one of the things you can buy, and also you can find out in the wild, are these soundtracks that they will perform in the cantina, which is basically your HQ. And honestly, I just don't care much about them. Like, they don't necessarily sound good or bad. It seems more like a thing that they just put in the game as a collectible, rather it being a thing of value. When it comes to the mechanics, I am playing on the hardest difficulty mode. Like, I want a challenge. However, I have gotten that challenge. Sometimes it has been so frustrating that and other times it's just fine. There are a few bosses in this game that will make you rip out your hair. Without spoiling too much about the different kind of bosses, there is a Rancor that you need to fight, which is absolutely insane. There's an old enemy-ish that is also insane. And then there was this boss that I was trying to defeat that took probably about an hour and a half. It was also frustrating because one of the times I was really close to killing this boss, and then this happened. No!
Such a fragile thing to last so long.
My controller died. Oh, I'm gonna cry. So as you can see, I was really frustrated. A good frustration, not a bad one, because I did sign up for the challenge. And the good thing is that if you think it's too difficult, you can always turn the difficulty level down, and then you can always turn it back up right back after. I really love the new abilities that you unlock in this game, and I love the fact that you carry over the abilities that you learned in the first game over to the second game. Because a lot of games, they just like, oh, I forgot everything that happened. And then you have to relearn everything that happened and then add some few new stuff. But in this game, they actually just remember everything that you learned, carry it over to the new one, and you can only focus on new abilities, which I really love. So overall, I've been talking a lot about how great this game is and how fantastic it is. But there are some things that I don't like about this game. So around the world, you can collect all these collectibles, and you probably need to collect them to get 100% on this game, which I am gonna do for sure. However, some of these things that you can collect, you can use to buy stuff, and these things that you can buy are just not worth it. One of the things that you can buy is things that you can also find out in the wild is basically collectibles of different kind of customization of Cal. You can change his hair, you can change his beard, you can change his outfit. Don't get me wrong, all of this is great. However, the things that you can buy in some of the shops are more of this. Or you can buy these new songs to be played in the cantina. Or you can buy other things that doesn't really improve you. Don't get me wrong, there are some few perks that you can buy, and there is like some few hidden things you can buy that is worth it. However, once you've bought them, what are you gonna use the rest of the points for? You know, like there's just no other reason to keep on collecting these unless you want to go for 100% completion, which I feel like is kind of sad. I feel like completing all of these would make it really cool. I do love, however, that whenever you meet a new enemy, you do get this enemy in the Hologame. I don't know if you remember this game in the Star Wars movie, but basically it's kind of like chess, but not really, but with monsters and with droids and all of these that you can now control and you can have fight each other. Basically how they did it in The Witcher as well, where you got this board game, or how they did it in Forbidden West with the board game. And honestly, I must say, I've enjoyed that board game a lot, and I kind of wish that there was more of it. Because it didn't take me long to try and complete all of them. That took me maybe 30 minutes, and then I've completed all of it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, guess I'm done with that now. But all in all, when I started writing the script for what I was going to say today, I gave it 6 out of 6 Viking helmets. No doubt. I was like, yes, I want to give it 6 out of 6. But now I've actually been talking about the things that were wrong with this game and the things that I would like to change. I feel like I'm actually more inclined to give it 5. Yep, that's my decision. I'm gonna stick with 5. Just because there are these things where I'm like, it could have been better. And just because of that, 5 Viking helmets. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please go and like and subscribe to this channel. I am also streaming on Twitch. My handle is the Nordic Dane, and I hope to see you there. And as always, vi ses.